19 to accept the group rating offered by Comp Management, P.O. Box 89456, Cleveland, Ohio, 444101-6456 at a cost of $200 for the year, dating 1/1/2020 to 12/31/2020, estimated savings of $20,000.
Move. Second.
Trustee Herbert?
Yes.
Trustee Parker? Trustee Webb?
Yes.
Okay, and to rescind 11419 to rescind resolution 35710.
Mr. Chairman, if I could read that resolution to make it clear for the record. 357-10 to authorize payments of $2,000 annually to both Chief Lewis and Road Superintendent Park for their management of the Township's Bureau of Workers' Compensation process, with full payments for 2010 to be made in December 2010, with 1,000 payments for all subsequent years to be made in January and July to be paid from the general fund. The motion was made by Trustee Urcheck, seconded by Trustee Hovis, and the vote was Hovis yes, Trustee Park was absent, and Trustee Urcheck was yes.
And that's has to do because of contract.
Yes.
Taken out of one group, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion.
I'm going to abstain. Give me a second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Park?
Abstain.
Trustee Webb?
Yes.
Okay, correspondence copies are available upon request. On the administration side, I would like to everybody to realize all the hard work that Gene Eddy has put into getting this new UAN system up to par. The new printouts are excellent. They're easier to read. And it took a lot of time, and also the gentleman that we hired to do that, to get things in place. Thank you, Gene, for your hard work on getting that done. And the only other thing I have is we haven't got an update on the water line yet on 5. I'm sure, Ted, you haven't heard anything. Frank, you haven't heard anything. And the Beaver Trail update on the paving, we're just waiting for the contract to come back from legal, and then we can get that moving as well. You guys got anything else?
I do. I attended a council of government meeting in April representing Bazetta Township. Council is finally starting to see some positive results. I don't know if you've read the newspaper, but for us to be part of the COG, we are now allowed to share services and equipment. The first big project that was done by the COG was to tear down the elementary school in Niles. It was estimated that that was going to cost the city of Niles somewhere around $300,000 to $400,000. The COG did it for a little over $20,000 in shared services, saving that community over $300,000. One of the things that the COG would like us to do as a community is to look and see how we can take advantage of some of these cost savings. So I'm asking the Board of Trustees to kind of look around the community as well as the zoning inspector. And if we see where there might be something that we could take advantage of the COG, certainly be represented and ask for them to examine whether or not they could be of some help to us. The second meeting I attended was a special meeting on May the 2nd, and it was a meeting of the sanitary sewer districts. We've got some issues here, and you'll see in my letter, or our letter, to the Board of Commissioners that what they're trying to do is consolidate 2 sanitary sewer districts. There's the Metro District, and there's the Mosquito Creek District. We're in the Mosquito Creek District. Our district has been financially and fiscally stable for many years. Matter of fact, we have a $14 million surplus in our district sewer system. They're going to make some added or updated renovations to it to the tune of about $31 million. $6 million of that surplus is going to go towards the down payment of those upgrades. And the Metro District, on the other hand, is very insolvent, probably will be operating in the red by the end of the year. And what their intentions are is to combine the two districts so there's only one district. The problem with that is, with us in our district, our sewer rate is $5.75 per thousand. Right now, the Metro District is at $6.66. With them about to get an increase of somewhere around to $7.50, and before the end of the year go to $9, and sometime next year go to $11.25. If they combine the two districts, that'll be our rate. We'll go from $5.75 to over $11 because we would all now be in the same sanitary district. So this board has taken a position by passing this resolution tonight to express our concerns to Trumbull County Board of Commissioners that they need to find some other alternative to make Metro District solvent. Don't put it on our backs. So we'll keep you folks informed, but for right now, we think this is the first step to show our displeasure in what they intend to do. And then we'll see what happens next. Yeah, there is a flat rate system for cities, I believe, that are
Even in Bazetta Township, we have a flat rate. You don't if you're not hooked up with the water.
Yeah, so it's the only utility that you pay for. You have a choice of a phone line, phone carrier. You have a choice of who does your internet. You have a choice to your garbage. You have a choice of electricity. You have a choice of natural gas. Once that sewer line comes within 200 feet of your property, you are mandated within 90 days to tie into that sewer. And once you're mandated to tie in, they can charge you whatever they want. And that's what seems to be happening or about to happen at this point. I just can't understand how something like that, which is basically a monopoly, can get away with what they're doing. And I believe that at some point in the near future, your largest utility bill will be your sewer bill for those that are tied in to the sanitary sewers in Bazetta Township. So if you can, maybe write a letter to the Trumbull County Commissioners as an individual stating that you don't want to see a consolidation of the districts. You're quite happy with what you have. The costs are very reasonable. I think if we can get their attention, then it's the Board of Commissioners that are going to make the decision on what's going to happen here. So I'm asking the residents if they would please take the initiative to contact the Trumbull County Commissioner's office, write a letter, send an email, do whatever you can to express your concerns that this doesn't happen and people in Bazetta Township are penalized.
Was there something like a district want to go?
Yeah, Metro District. Let's see. Okay, in the Metro District, there's Champion, Kinsman, Warren Township, Howland, which is West Bowlingdale, Weathersfield Township, Liberty Township, Hubbard, Brookfield, Newton Township, Village of Lordstown, McDonald, Mineral Ridge. There is a part of Bazetta and Vienna, and that's total Metro customers of 13,186. In the Mosquito Creek District, it's the northwest corner of Vienna, Bazetta Township, and Howland north of 422, and the city of Portland. And we have a total of 7,883 residents tied into that district. So the way it looks right now, the cumulative financial performance for the last 3 years for the Metro District was a negative $779,904, and the Mosquito Creek District was a positive $112,577. Actually, our expense should have been reduced. There was an improvement bond that was retired back in 2011. We were paying $5.75. When that got retired, we could have gone back down to $3.75, but the board decided to continue at $5.75 and build up a nice surplus. So Again, good management on the part of the sanitary district for us, but I think it's the wrong decision to rob our piggy bank to make theirs whole. So again, asking residents to do whatever you can on this part. Like I said, the Board of Trustees tonight is signing a letter that will be mailed and emailed off to the commissioners tonight, and we're hoping to get some sort of a favorable response from that letter.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
After the meeting, towards the end of the meeting, we can.
Okay, thank you, Ted. Okay, next thing is the fiscal officers.
Yeah, I figured I should add that to the agenda since there's so much going on in my position. First of all, I want to thank, Trustee Hovis for getting Tony Long to finding his name and getting him to help with this conversion and consulting. I wish I had him back in August. He's a lot of experience behind him, and he's just helped me tremendously in starting to know my duties and how things are supposed to run. So thank you for that. And it's been a huge task. It's long hours and still have some adjustments to make as I keep going, but it's brought about a bunch of changes that I feel are very good and positive changes. It's helped with, I feel, correcting a lot of things that weren't quite right that has been done in the past. So I've included, I thought it was a good time for me to include in this meeting agenda the duties of a fiscal officer, because that has seemed to have not been where it should have been in the past years. So I am just trying to follow ORC code and not be in any violations. I know there's been some resistance about that, but I'm just trying to follow the rules. I can, as it's been said, I can have an assistant to do some of my duties, but that would also mean that I have to pay that person. And for only, the state setting my wage at $23,396 a year, that's not very affordable for me to take that out of my yearly income. So that's one thing. I also feel too, in there it states the things that a fiscal officer is responsible for. I know in the past, the previous fiscal officer did things that was not in her duties, and she didn't do things that were her duties. So I just want to say, for one thing, I heard in caucus that about the Beaver Trail project. That was something that was in there, that did not come from my office, nor should it be. Rita, the previous fiscal officer, was the one that verified the funds, I believe, back in June. As far as the contract goes and stuff, it was just required for my signatures, and then if it was me, I would have had to verify that money was in there. Other than that, that's where my responsibility stops. It's not, I'm not road department, so I just wanted to make that clear to the other department heads and trustees, where my duties, the boundaries are. Second of all, back to UAN, I would like to thank the employees and the department heads and trustees for their patience and understanding. There's been a lot of things overlooked, a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that had to be changed when Tony and I used the information that was given to us, and some of it was not where we should have been. Like I said, there's still some adjustments, still lots of big, learning, but it is a very good system. It's a strict system. I'm under scrutiny of the state now. So there's a lot of changes that will be made that was not done in the past. And a lot of it is set by IRS, and I just have to follow the rules now, and because I am the one that is assigned to UAN, and it's me that the state looks at for everything that gets put into that system, as far as numbers and everything. As far as taxes go, it was, this is something I thought that kind of everybody knew because they've been here for a while, but Trustee Park had asked me about paying, on the bills, he had asked me about paying taxes and surcharges, like for Dominion and Verizon Wireless and that. And I just wanted to make everybody know that, yes, we are a government entity, and the only thing that we are exempt from is sales tax. Sales taxes only. So everything else that, that's by the federal, that sets we pay them ourselves, the Verizon bill, the surcharges and all those fees, we are still responsible to pay them. So I just, so if you should happen to request a bill or something, yes, I have to pay those. I do not have to pay sales tax, and I don't. I have met with Huntington Bank. There's a couple of things. There's two old CDs that have been held with Cortland Bank that, since I looked back, like in 2016, the average that we make on interest is around $11. And it's always like a continual renewal. And I think they've had this CD for many, 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 many years. My suggestion to the trustees is we're not making anything off them. The total of the two CDs are $3,775.40. We already have an investment account with Huntington that like a money market. I would like to roll those over into the money market and at least put them into the bigger money and start making a little bit more interest off of them than just the $11 that we've been making each year. And then finally, Huntington Bank. I met with them because the township's going to be switching over to direct deposit for the employees' paychecks. I think that's a really good thing for a lot of the employees. I think they'll like that. Also, it had been since I started in the position back in August, there's always been a service fee on our checking account, anywhere from $120 to $150 a month. And I always want, why are we paying a service fee for the amount of money that this township holds in the bank? So that was one of my questions to Huntington. If I went with them for direct deposit, what can you do for the township? That I'm adding on some fees here for direct deposit. What can you do for us to get these fees that we've been paying reduced down? So they worked and they came up with, and it's in the agenda there. They took away the fees and reduced it down to about, they think it's going to average me about $54 a month. So before, in a year, we were paying close to $1,600 a year just in service fees. And moving forward, I should probably have those fees down to maybe $600 a year. In the meantime, we're gaining direct deposit. It's 24 cents a paycheck. That will be double for the biweekly pay and just 24 cents for us monthly. I'm also getting a remote deposit capture out of this at no cost to me. It's like a $500 scanning machine that I no longer have to take the money to the bank unless it was cash, and we mostly get checks in. I can just sit in my office daily and scan the checks, and it goes directly into our checking account. So across the board with this, we're saving for paper checks, deposit slips, envelopes, all that. We're moving forward into this new direct deposit or remote capture. And then the last thing, it was brought to my attention that the two outstanding commercial credit cards that we have, I believe one is still in the previous fiscal officer's name, but when I had to get us a new one at a better rate, the way that Chase Bank worked, it was with me, my name on there and my social security number. And I don't, it was brought to my attention that that should not be, and I agree with that. So Huntington offers a commercial credit card with no fees at all. It's free. They first asked, the policy is that you have to spend $10,000 a month. And I said, well, we don't spend $10,000 a month. So they knocked those fees down that as long as we spent $2,500 in a year, we would continue to have no fees. And this way it would solely be in the name of Bazetta Township. And that's it.
Thank you very much for that. You guys got anything for her?
I just want to thank her for her time and effort to try and make this conversion over to UAN. From what it is, my understanding that we're fortunate enough to be doing it this year because 2020, we had to be off of protest. So we're trying to get it all solved by 4 years end. And again, we want to thank the employees and the department heads for their patience in this conversion.
Definitely. And we started with that, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Greenie talking to these guys with the direct deposit, we had checked into that about 6 years ago and they wanted $4 a employee, I believe, right, Dennis?
Something, $3 something. Or
$3 or $4, and these guys are gonna do it for 24 cents a check. So that's a big savings. Okay, 11519, to authorize the fiscal officer to move 2 certificates of deposit from Portland Bank to the township investment account currently with Huntington.
I'll second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Webb?
Yes.
11619, to accept the authorization and agreement with Huntington Bank for the services of direct deposit and remote deposit capture.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Park?
Yes.
Trustee Webb?
Yes.
11719, to accept the commercial credit card provided by Huntington National Bank.
Second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Park?
Yes.
Trustee Webb?
Yes.
Okay, fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All I have, there are the 2 items on the agenda, and the April 2019 monthly report has been submitted to the trustees.
Okay. You guys have any questions for Dennis? Okay. 11819, to approve Chief Lewis to attend the 2019 Ohio Fire Rescue Officers Development Conference, July 11th to the 15th, 2019 in Columbus, Ohio.
I'll second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Park?
Yes.
Trustee Webb?
Yes.
119-19, to approve Hudson Communication LLC to install and program 7 Mark radios at a cost of $4,211.
I'll second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Park?
Yes.
Trustee Webb?
Chris?
My April monthly report was submitted as just one item on the agenda.
Okay. 1219, to approve moving Joseph DeBerg from the FTO officer program to part-time officer retroactive to April 19th, 2019 with a rate of $13 per hour.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Webb?
Yes.
And the non-agenda items, as you can see there, the April monthly report from the 911 center, they was having some communication problems down there, so there's no report for that. So we'll move to the road department, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have some things that aren't on the agenda, but I've worked for this place 27 years. Gone through nepotism. I've had a great career here. I love it. But there's some things with the employees and the trustees. In advance, Jay, I'd like to apologize to you. Most of you folks know me. Been here forever. On 12/11, I had a sidebar with trustee Webb. One thing that my dad always taught me, take notes. So I'm like a crazy note taker, okay? And he told me not to throw him under the bus. And some other things that day. Recently, there's been a rise in public documents. And here's a letter. There's the Tribune Chronicle, your response to it. And my response is the email from my union that was in advance of that meeting that happened on 9/11. Okay. I'm a little ticked off. I've gone through other employees stating that some employees were getting fired. I've gone through employees stating that I failed drug tests. Look at my record. Gene's probably already looked at it. Oh, I got another thing for Gene. During this late contract that we've had that arrived in fiscal officer Rita Drew's name, I had to have a resolution made. Well, I called up because I didn't have a copy of it. So they emailed me a copy of it. And whatever that original email is, whatever the original document is for that resolution, it's not the same as the one we sent down to Columbus. You guys did away with my BWC that Dennis and I have brought down from $122,000. Okay? When Dennis and I took it over, it was $86,000. Chuck Sayers could not keep up with it by himself. He got $4,000 a year. These are certificates of appreciation from the township. Countless of them, okay? These are all the attendances that I've done to help lower the cost. And I think it's retaliation. Jay, my apology to you. I told you that I thought that road was bad in Beaver Trail. I lied to you because the day, just a few days before, Trustee Webb decided that I threw him under the bus and he was already retaliating against me. And Beaver Trail wasn't even on my radar. It's a pet project. How do you like that? I'm done.
Well, Chris, I'd like to respond to some of your allegations.
Allegations, it's all right there.
Well, first of all, I don't know what meeting you're talking about on December the 11th.
There was a meeting that I pulled you out on a
It
sidebar.
was a confidential meeting. That was
It
not.
doesn't matter. I take notes, Ted.
All right.
It's public knowledge, whether it's a private meeting or not.
Secondly, I have this email. Matter of fact, I had it and was carrying it with me tonight.
Good.
I'd like to read it.
Yeah, now my union rep doesn't know what is considered sunshine law or not. He said, I didn't think so. That's on him, but it's also on you.
Well, Steve, the letter or the email was to Ted, Paul, and Frank. In accordance with the collective bargaining agreement, I'm requesting a meeting that will serve as a grievance committee meeting, Article 9, and Step 1 of the grievance procedure, Article 10. I know you all have meetings scheduled for Tuesday, September 11th at 7 p.m. We are available during or after that meeting. Please let me know what time is best for you. My response was, Steve, I'm available after the trustees meeting tomorrow. Should be done around 7:30, if that works for you. We will need to go into executive session during the meeting, or is this just an informal meeting? I do not know if Paul will be available or if Frank should be included. Let's plan to meet tomorrow. Ted. Steve's response to me was, no need for executive session at this time. See you about 7:30. When
We shouldn't have been blindsided, though. It was all right there. You knew the grievance committee. Your
Grievance
meeting
committee,
was
right,
done.
but as soon as the second trustee attended that meeting, it now becomes a public meeting.
That is not on me.
then I shouldn't have continued with that meeting. I should have stopped.
There were decisions made there.
There were.
I have the notes.
I know, I have the notes too, Chris.
I have 27 years worth of notes right here.
Okay, well, like I said, this was discussed at our last meeting.
And that's not even.
I think he just wants to set the record straight because.
I want, you know what, you rescinded that, and you never showed me not a single ounce of appreciation or nothing. I would have.
Chris, would you let me finish some of my comments?
Sure, I had the floor though.
I'm sorry?
I said I had the floor.
Well, go ahead and say what you want to say if you have the floor.
I'm done.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
in response to some of,
I have a question. What makes Dennis?
Wait,
uh,
wait until.
I guess my question in response to the issues
I
with
know, it is.
rescinding 357-10, by contract, we had to do that.
Okay, now let's hold off there for a second. This used to be paid by resolution from the general fund. Then Mr. Hovis, Mike Hovis, decided, hey, man, let's put this on our wages. We'll all benefit for it later on when we retire. So he got the benefit from it. I don't. Dennis, it doesn't matter. He can retire.
Well, what's happened is.
But I paid
have
for
the
it
floor now. I have the floor now.
when that,
I've asked him
Hold on,
for
Chairman.
me to respond. And
go ahead.
because we have entered into a contract with the fire chief to be the coordinator of BWC, we had to rescind that motion 357-10.
I understand that.
That does not mean that we can't, in another meeting, bring you back on. He had to go.
Sorry.
You should have had it right afterwards then, Ted. But let's back up here a minute. Let's go back and say, okay, when Mike Hovis transferred it, when the general fund was the bonds, and they didn't have the money, it switched over when we got it as far as wages, didn't it? To our departments, didn't it, Mike? Yes. That was never a resolution, not one time. So it would be nice if we got our money back.
Well, again, I wasn't trustee. I don't believe when that happened.
Yes, you were.
I was?
Yeah, it was when the general fund was going under.
Well, I'll have to check my records.
Well, you check them out, you'll find out.
All right. What else, Chris? Anything?
Yeah, I have a couple other things. We're doing foundations tomorrow in the cemetery. I have the couple of bids for tree removal on McCleary Jacoby. The low bid is Bazetta Tree. I had a third one, it was a verbal, but I never got any documentation from it. Bazetta Tree also gave me their BWC, which is in proper order, and their insurance information, which is also in proper order.
Okay, 12119 to authorize Bazetta Tree to remove the trees across the street from 2640 McClear Jacoby Road for $1,265 to be paid for out of Fund 2021 gas tax.
One second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Park?
Yes.
Trustee Webb?
Yes.
Okay, planning director, zoning inspector, and code enforcement officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report is attached in the handouts. The only thing I have to add is there are 10 permits issued for the month of April, $1,490 was collected in fees. I've asked the police chief if I don't talk to the ice cream vendors that drive around first and have one of his officers stop and give them my information and let them know that they must have a vendor's permit to work within the township. Vegetation control, I've already, there's 4 addresses, one's by Anka, one is local Black Stuff, First Flag, and Perkins Jones Road that have been referred for vegetation abatement. There were motions on those 4 properties last year. I don't believe we have to do it every year if the nuisance continues. That's all I have.
You guys got anything for Pete?
That's done a good job.
Okay, zoning commission, zoning board of appeals.
Nothing Meeting coming up in July.
Okay, Park and Recreation Board meeting minutes from the April 16th, 2019 meeting. Anything else on the parks?
Next meeting will be next
No,
Tuesday, the 21st.
Next meeting is next Tuesday. What'd you say, the 24th?
21st.
21st at 7, correct?
Mhm.
At 7 PM here.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I forgot one thing. Next week, the week of the 21st, there will not be any office hours for the zoning department. I will be out of town for the entire week.
All right. All right, thank you. Okay, nobody asked to be placed on the agenda, so we'll open it for public comment. Raise your hand, come up to the podium.
Yeah. What
Please state
makes
your name.
Dennis, my name's Amy Carter. What makes Dennis so special that now he's chairman of EWC? Why did he get it?
That was decided by the board of trustees.
Yes, what makes him more, what did he do that he starred more than Chris did? Why did you offer him that money and didn't want to split it between him and Chris?
We knew that Dennis was taking on the
Well, it's in their contract now,
It's in whose contract?
the road department's contract.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It was booted out.
That's what I'm saying. It was in,
It was never in that contract.
It was in the cost.
So what makes Dennis so special that he got it all and Chris didn't? Mike left. And all of a sudden, you guys say, oh shit, we're gonna give it to Dennis. We're gonna give everything to Dennis. Let's put him out the door. What makes Dennis so special that you guys said that? What did Chris do that warrants him not to shine like Dennis? When Chris went to every single meeting, did everything that Dennis did, what did he do? You can't answer that, can you?
It was negotiated. and-
No,
Yeah, it was.
it was negotiated with you and Dennis.
No, I can't make that decision on my own.
Then who else did it?
That one, this one for me.
Oh, Frank did it
He approved the contract,
and wanted to give Dennis that money.
not all of it.
Didn't you just say it wasn't in the contract?
It was
It's
in
in
Dennis's
Dennis's
contract.
contract.
But they wouldn't put it in my contract.
But all three of you
But
decided,
you
let's
had
give
to
Dennis all the money
Hold on.
and leave Chris out.
One at a time.
Not saying that Chris is out.
Chris is out, you just booted him out.
He's still in it. till
No,
June.
he's not.
He's still in it till June. He's accepted compensation till June.
And then what happens after
We have
June?
between now and June to bring him back in as part of that board membership.
Excuse me, when you rescinded the motion, I was pretty much done, wasn't
That's pretty much done.
I? I mean, you can prorate it, but I'm pretty
Don't
much
worry,
done.
we got your back. We got you. Everybody's got each other.
Actually, even though the motion rescinded, you already got paid from now till June.
Yes. Then what happens after June?
So that's when
We have,
we have to sit down and talk.
these two have to do it.
Yeah, he cannot do it.
But you've already given Dennis the pot. So there is nothing left of the pot to give Chris.
He didn't get the entire pot.
What's left?
And none of it's coming out of general fund. It's coming out of Bazetta Fire Department's budget. So what I'm saying is that resolution came out of the general fund. In a certain time, whether it was 14 or 15, I cannot remember the exact,
No, Chris's came out of Chris's funds.
correct. That didn't happen till the.
Not at first.
Not at first. So it would be affecting the road department budget.
So why take it away if it's not even affecting the general fund, it's affecting the road department's fund? And everybody who was so worried about the cemetery getting all cleaned up and beautiful, he's missing half his finger from the stones that don't weigh a lot. Thanks for having everyone's back.
Okay, any other public comment?
Go ahead. How about that? Jane Lewis, 3247 Pheasant Run Road, Union. This is to the clerk. You said that, the Cortland, you're moving the Cortland CD to Huntington because it's only paying $11 a year. Well, most of the time, we're told in percentages. And I have, from the past, and percentages, if you say $11 a year, you're covering up the percentage. So what was the percentage of the Cortland CD? And what is the percentage of the Huntington Bank CD?
I don't know yet. I have to sit with, I can't do anything until I get their
So
approval.
we're gonna make a motion to take it out of the Cortland Bank, and you don't know what the CD is paying, the percentage, not $11, because $11, usually when you give,
CDs aren't paying anything anymore.
well,
That's the
you know
problem.
what, I also am in a co-op in Florida, and we were in a very low CD. And we were gonna move it to another bank. As soon as they found out, we were gonna move it to a different bank, even though that was our banking bank. They tripled it like to 3.7 something, which is high for a CD. But that's what I just want to know, what the CD was paying in Cortland. I hate to see you move it from Cortland if the percentage is higher than Huntington. Because a lot of times when you go to a bank and say, I'm moving you, I'm gonna roll you over to Huntington, they'll come right up with higher. So before I be making too many big motions, I mean, you said $11 a year. Well, when somebody tells me I'm only paying $20 a year interest, yeah, okay, you're paying $20 a year on what? They're usually trying to hide something. I'm not saying you're hiding anything.
Yeah, because I put the CDs, this is all I
I
have.
need a percentage. I feel you should be questioning the percentage of the CD.
Okay, did you look at the two CDs that are inside the agenda? Okay.
Does it tell you the percentage?
No, I want you to look at these and I want you to tell me, how old do you think this paper is? Look at the writing on it. It's not even up to date. And at the very top, it says automatic
But you should
renewal
be
notice.
telling us the percentage. You should be giving us a percentage.
I have not had, Portland Banks has never contacted me since I've been here in August. And I have to say, this is an automatic renewal that the prior fiscal officer didn't do anything about this.
Yeah, well,
Check into it, which should be checked
Most of
into
the
at
time-
each maturity date.
most of the time, nobody's gonna contact you to give you more money. You have to contact them. I mean, I don't know of anybody you can call your cell phone company and you can get it lowered. They're not gonna call you and tell you, just like, hey, they're not gonna call you to lower it. You have to
I'm
call,
doing what
contact.
I feel is in best interest for the residents of this township. And if
But
we
I'm
can
just
make a little
asking-
bit more money in a money market that's paying higher dividends because it's spread over a continuum of different accounts, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, but before you make a decision, I still feel that the percentage ought to be, and you should discuss it with Portland. Not that I'm against Huntington, but I think that's the proper way to
The
do it.
only thing I can tell you, just because I have some stuff at Cortland Bank and I actually just moved it myself, because Cortland Bank's interest isn't paying me enough. They're charging me a fee to have my money there,
Oh,
that they're
well-
paying interest on.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't have anything,
So-
but my checking account at Portland, because it's free, but,
Yeah.
and I got my money someplace else also. But before we just say, oh, I only making $11 a year on $3,000, I think we should go with the percentage. I think we should check out percentages.
She'll have you the percentage by the next meeting.
Okay,
Just to
thank you.
let you know,
Yeah.
we're still gonna.
Yeah, money market's probably the way to go, but I think we should check it out.
Maybe you're Amelia Olbrich.
Pardon me?
Amelia Olbrich. Can you see it?
Thank you, I'm sorry.
Is there something that says 514? Or where I haven't seen where you guys are talking from. What, I mean, do you have like,
Is there any more up there? A big packet, big thick packet.
is it, what's the date on the front of it?
May 14th.
No,
No, the one next to it.
this one says April 24th. Oh, I didn't see it.
Must have been. Oh, you want to see this one?
You can have that one. I'll get it out of it. It'll be online.
Cool. And this thing about the, okay, is it, you were talking sewer or water?
Sewer.
Okay. And you're saying that they want to, be in with the other ones?
Not yet.
The thing is I'm still paying for the one in 99. Because they forced us to do that. Was there ever anything that said, hey, we were wrong, we shouldn't have forced you to do that?
No.
Cross your heart and hope you die.
There was no.
No, I'll go with it. I really need that cross your heart and hope you die.
Sewer lines are in, and once they're in, they're in. It's just a matter of creating a new entity that would combine both districts. And only have one district. It's just something that they do
No,
on a paper move, more so than,
we were forced in.
oh yeah, if you're 200 feet from a line, you are forced in. You have no options.
Which part of the 200 feet?
That sewer line comes within 200 feet of the foundation of your home. You
Is
now
it, do you know? You know around there. That's not-
Yeah, I don't, I think it's 250.
250, so, yeah.
So I really didn't need to pay, I'm still paying for it. Yeah, of 3,000, it was a few years ago, we had paid 5,000 plus, and we weren't going to pay it all then. And now, and I think I could have the last 2 years get all paid off. I'm thinking that this is the year that I'll finally pay that 3,000 plus.
It's normal, if you put it on your taxes, it's a 20-year, on your
Right.
taxes for 20 years, so you're coming to the end.
But it was forced.
Well, it's, once people sign the petition and the project goes forward, and the sewer goes in, you have to tap in.
Okay,
You don't have a choice.
and who should we contact to say, hey, no, this isn't a good idea?
Trumbull County Commissioner's Office, either Frank Fuda, Dan Politka, or Mauro Cantalasa. Or you can just call down there and just ask to speak to him. Yeah, he's pretty active, so if you get his ear and talk to him about it, let him know how you feel.
Oh. Speak up. Yeah. So, can you, all you said back then,
For the sewer system,
yeah,
that's,
and there was plenty of questions I had at the time, but I forget.
our district, the Mosquito Creek District, is financially stable
Right,
with a surplus of almost $14 million. They're doing some upgrades to the system, $31 million.
and you're saying that
The other district is not.
the commissioners,
Commissioners are gonna make that decision as to who's gonna, if they're gonna combine the two systems.
That's who you're gonna want to contact. We're already addressing the board as a township as a whole to them that we don't feel it's right. But
there's a
the
lot
more
not right.
residents that contact them as well will help. And basically, that's not gonna change your end of the year paying off your
No,
tie-in, but it's your monthly sewer rate.
right. I got that. Wow.
Okay?
No, I'm not done.
Well, I don't know that-
Yeah, it's two minutes.
Wow. And, okay, so which meetings do we come to where we got some say in how we deal with the people?
Right here.
Right. 2 minutes. You've got more than 2 minutes.
That's why when they asked for the department head, not public comment.
You know, hey, works for you. I hope you get what you want, because you sound like you're up against a bunch of crap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other public
And
comment?
what's your name, in case you want to run for trustee?
Hold on. Bob.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, it's okay, all right. I'll take longer to do. Yeah, my name's Chuck Matheny, I'm married to Robin Matheny. I've lived in the township my whole life. I've paid taxes for 30-some years. So I'd just like to give you a couple of opinions. First of all, Chris, I'm backing you 100%. It's nothing against Dennis. Because I want to tell you something about,
It's not.
I'm backing him because he does a wonderful job. I'm backing him because he does a wonderful job. Sorry, I don't know you. But I'm gonna tell you, here's the things that's happened. All right, we had a tornado at my mother's house when that tornado come through, same as the graveyard. Picked the garage up, threw it down, whatever. Dennis Lewis came to my house. You know, I heard all this guff a couple weeks ago about Dennis. I'm like, what the hell are they talking? This man came to my mother's house, not my house. He checked on my mother twice. So I want you to know that. That's the kind of man you got sitting up there. And I appreciate it. I tried to feed him at 9 o'clock the last time he would eat. Now, the other thing that I'd like to say is, I think it was brought up before I got here, but I could be wrong. But you said something, I don't know you, but I know you're the clerical clerk. Why would you get an assistant when you've got my wife? She's been in this township for 40 years. We canceled vacations so she would do the daggone payroll. And she was sick with cancer. You guys brought her out here to do the payroll. So like Chris said, I get a little mad when I hear some of this stuff. Why wouldn't you utilize a 40-year veteran that's done 80% of the clerk job for 40 years? And when I say 80%, she knows what I'm talking about. So I'd like you guys to think about it. Now, why would we do anything different? I'd load her up. But I think it's disrespect not to. Now, for what it's worth. All right.
You got a lot of stuff.
Bob, you're up.
You know,
Everything my elders.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
you were clerk for a while, trustee for.
Okay, I'm Bob McBride. And I live at 3367 Warren Meadville Road. And the first thing, since this young lady brought up about that cemetery, one of my know is, are you guys working on the headstones? Because we had this discussion before that it is not the township's responsibility to put them headstones up. And not only that, but then we had a discussion with trustee Park and trustee Webb about these township employees doing that cemetery to save $20,000, that the bids were about $20,000 to clean it all up. And you guys decided you were gonna try and save the township money. And I spoke at great lengths with you, Ted, that these guys are they certified to run a chainsaw?
We've all
You have
gone through-
certifications?
We've all gone through safety training with the chainsaws, and then
You have certifications
and of
from
course,
the tree care industry?
yeah, I was through Cortland Mower.
Okay, but you all have certificates. And then you want to turn around and then you said maybe you could get from this co-op thing, borrow the chipper from the county. Are they certified to run a chipper?
My guys aren't.
Okay, which are very deadly anyways. But now we have an accident that's going to cost more. Well, really, it didn't happen with the tree work, but we have two huge piles of stuff. That bid was 20,000, like I talked to you, trustee Park, the other day. That was included in hauling all the way. Now, we have to get that all ground. Have you got any prices yet? I grind stuff like that, you know, it runs to grind that.
This is all gotta be done by bid.
Right, it runs about $400 an hour, and that doesn't include hauling away where we had bids of 20,000, 21 to haul it all away, and we're still messing with it. And then to really, if you guys put these guys out there to try and set headstones, did you contact any monument places about it?
Actually,
The sexton has talked to a couple of people on that.
That'll all be done by bid.
it's all in
Well, then
this
what
bid
if- how did
package
he
for the
cut his
building.
fingers off if he
He was
did?
trying to move a stone. I don't even know if it was one that was flipped over. I don't know what the story was on that.
It is. It was, the guys thought they could do it.
Because I'm seeing a lot on Cortland, you know, about the park, and I think really, I know it's a touchy thing, and everybody's all upset about that cemetery, and I don't blame them, but you know, it's really like, they have no business trying to get set headstone, especially if you don't have a crane.
But he gonna lift that one stone down. So,
Right.
yeah, no, the ground.
Okay, this is for Rita. Are you bonded here?
I'm Jeannie.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I am.
Bonded, done.
Yes,
And, is there a fee like when you transfer them over? Like, were they a penalty for moving them from the one bank to another? Are they?
I have not checked into anything because I had to wait for the resolution to even
Okay.
see it.
Okay, I was just curious because, you know, sometimes they try and,
Right, one's up in August and the other one's in October, so might have to wait till then, but I didn't make any phone calls till I saw if, you
okay.
know, they passed it.
One last thing, just want to ask, but you, the township, are you guys all like on email where you communicate? Like Chris said, he has all this paper stuff. Do you have anything on email that backs up everything? I mean, like your correspondence, like with Chris, like through the road department, is it all on email or is it all just like he has his paperwork?
Email, they're backed up through the email system.
Okay. Okay, that's all.
Thank you. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, 12219 to recess into executive session at 6 o'clock to discuss the employment of Sergeant Kurlinger for ORC 121.22.
Second.
Trustee Hovis?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Love?
Yes.
Not yet.
Sure.
Yeah.